So let's look into Starship Troopers, an obscure anime made in 1988. This is a finished product, but with only 6 episodes. We start off with a battle scene that never really gets any description. Sure, it's probably safe to assume that they're fighting against bugs, but, well, these are definitely a different breed of bugs than we're used to. And this is a very different looking bit of armor for the mobile infantry. Seriously? They're giving these guys that kind of power armor? And that armor looks damn nice. Sure, a bit bulkier than some of the stuff we see imagined these days, but still kind of cool looking. Too bad they seem to be easily destroyed by the enemy. Next we cut to... oh god! A football scene. If anything, this one feels worse than the one from the movie. Sure, the movie one had a bunch of lightweights jumping around, but this? Just look at this bit. That didn't feel like a football atmosphere. And while I might have been able to let that slide, Japan doesn't really care for American football much last time I checked after all. The strange celebration after their defeat afterwards makes it feel all the stranger. Really, they could have done without it. Anyway, here's this version of Rico. Yeah, he's blonde now. And here's Carmen. She doesn't get all that much screen time, so I can't gain an opinion of her one way or another. Anyway, Rico wants to join the army. Again. His mother gets on the hysterical side, trying to keep him from leaving, while his father gives a rather good argument that Rico should stay. Based on the sorts of supplies the army is buying, they're prepping for war, and there's probably already fighting. When we meet Carl, and he somehow managed to find footage of the battle we saw earlier. While Carl's a little more cautious about joining now that he knows there's a war on, Rico is bouncing off the walls, eager to do his part. That eagerness takes a hit when he gets to basic training and deals with the always fun Sergeant Zim in the second episode. Yes, Zim is black now, and is a very big stickler for the rules. While he's not the sort of guy who'd tear a resignation apart and tell you to carry on, he does deserve a good deal of respect. The training seems pretty standard, nothing too unexpected. Someone questions Zim's about knives again. His response is certainly more respectful than throwing a knife into your damn palm, but leaves something to be desired. I have to wonder why they feel the need to train these guys how to use throwing knives when they're in very thick armor. Seriously? You're training these guys to use a knife? And look, I understand the idea of training people to use something outside of an exoskeleton before you train them to use it with the equipment. But a throwing knife? Hand to hand, I understand. Learning how to use a gun or how to use a knife in close combat, I'd get. But a throwing knife? I'm not seeing it. As a side note, there are plenty of characters other than Rico and Zim who have plenty of personality, and all of whom become part of Rico's circle of friends, and while some of them do leave an impression, it's more along the lines of the guy who complains a lot but had the balls to punch Zim in the face, or the wormy guy who stole a bottle of the good stuff, rather than their name and all their characteristics. Kind of a shame, since most of this anime is devoted to the training of these guys. Kinda like the book. Anyway, while Rico is getting trained, his mother is unfortunately at an airport with a friend when they come under attack by... What the hell are those things?
Yeah, that's what Elmer Fudd wakes up screaming every night.
Holy shit! These bugs would eradicate the ones from the movie. And they're attacking unarmed civilians. Well, this is definitely reason to go to war. Later in a briefing, the trainees are told that they are at war, and those things that attacked New Buenos Aires are the machines that the enemy used to... Wait. Machines? Are these the buggers from Ender's Game we're dealing with here? Anyway, more training, and the enemy attacks Mars the same day our heroes have started to train there. Yeah, I don't think Rico is going to be able to do much against one of those with paint rounds. It's around this point that I went from kinda liking the show to fully liking it. Sure, the music isn't anything to write home about, and might send you into chuckles. It's a little tough to get attached to anyone other than Rico in this series. The training doesn't stop until the 5th episode, and humanity doesn't get to send any attacks until the 6th. We only see humanity make one assault in this entire war, and never know if there were any further battles, and the pacing is on the slow side, but still, these guys looked at the source material, respected it, and went in their own direction. Sure, there are reasons it wasn't a major hit, but they did an okay job. If you like older anime or just want to watch something that treats war seriously, then give it a watch. It's not gonna wow you, but it's a fun ride at the very least. Now, let's watch their version of a planet drop before closing this review.
Division 第3部隊状況報告せよ。